Welcome, Gemini. We are in February, and this is your February tarot forecast. Let's just go ahead and get right into this. And let me explain real quick just what everything is kind of entailing or signifying. So, this top row right here, that is going to be your major themes for the month. So, just things that you're going to be encountering as you go through the month of February. I almost said January. I'm already stuck in the last month. And this middle row right here, these flipped over cards are going to represent obstacles that we may not see coming. And then these top cards are going to be ways to overcome those obstacles, or maybe just solutions to any other problems that we might be facing throughout the month. Now, we also have 3 oracle cards. Now, they are mostly in reference to the cards that they are surrounding. However, they can be applied to anything in the spread, so just keep that in mind as we go through the oracle cards. And then last but not least, we have this bottom row. This is going to be just our key concepts, ideas, the lens that we're kind of looking through events, circumstances, decisions throughout the month of February. So let's go ahead and just get right into this top row. So just a reminder, main themes for the month, okay? And right off the bat, we've got 2 major arcana cards. We have the Star and the Wheel of Fortune. So let's talk about these. Whoa, Smoky Quartz, calm down. Don't mind me. I'm just excited to be here. So let's talk about these. I actually really love these 2 cards in conjunction with one another. So let's just start with Wheel of Fortune. Kind of a very black and white card in my opinion. There's really no upward or reverse way to read the Wheel of Fortune. I read it the same way in either direction because it kind of means the same thing. Even the card art, if you like flip it, it really is basically the same. It's kind of hard to tell. I actually read it incorrectly when I initially like laid out the spread. That's beside the point. You don't care. Anywho, Wheel of Fortune is talking about karma. It's, what goes around comes around. If you are in good times, be present in those good times because good times are not always going to last. And conversely, if you're in, kind of a hard time right now, or you're struggling, or, whatever the case may be, just realize that once again, hard times don't last either. And I think you're going to see a turnaround going through the month of February. Now, let me just specify that I don't think that this is going to be a immediate, like, life is hard, life is great in the month of February, okay? I think this is just signifying that this turnaround, this 180, this corner that you're kind of waiting for, because I think this is probably speaking more towards the people who are kind of struggling right now. And this change, transformation is going to start taking place in February. So you're going to like get the wheel moving in February. But, make sure that you do have some patience with that because it is a major arcana card, long duration, big themes. So it's going to probably take some time. Just, hang in there. Now let's go over and look at this star card real quick. Last time I tried to do these, the light catches the reflective part on the card. Makes it kind of hard to see. So I'm going to try and like hold them differently. This is me pretending to hold a card. I'm going to hold them differently. So hopefully you guys can see the artwork on them. But they are just based on the Rider-Waite deck with just a few modifications. But they're just really pretty. Anyways, the Star card. So Star comes after the Tower. I really like the Tower and the Star together in relation to Wheel of Fortune because the Tower is all about breaking down. Oh, you know what? I totally missed this earlier. Sorry. When I was talking about Wheel of Fortune and karma, and you're going to be going into this period of change, but that it's only going to be starting in February. It's definitely not something that's going to come to completion. And I think it is going to take quite some time to come out of whatever this, low that you're in is. And I said, oh, you're going to have to be patient. Didn't realize right below, as a solution to a problem, we have temperance. I don't know if you can see that. I do this because, I see people do it on other YouTube channels, and I'm like, hey, that's actually a really good idea, and I like the artwork. But, me and my iPhone, we just be doing a one-man show here, so sometimes the focus change does not happen. So, I'm trying, but if it's blurry, we're doing our best. Anyways, back on topic. Temperance, another major arcana card in the upright, right below this Wheel of Fortune. To me, that is just reiterating exactly what I just said. You're going to be going through this change. It is a positive change. This is, you know what? I take back what I said earlier about how it could be, well, okay, I don't take it back. I was explaining the card that it could be good to bad, or negative to positive. But I did specifically say that this is moving from a kind of more negative situation to a more positive. And we know this because we have the freaking star. That is what the star is. It shows up after the tower. The tower is signifying the breaking down of structures to create a more steady and stable foundation to rebuild upon. But if you're familiar with any of the imagery of the tarot cards and you are familiar with the tower, it is a very visually jarring kind of card. It is a tower. It's being struck by lightning. Some depictions have it on fire, but it is like crumbling, and there's two people who are literally jumping out of this tower to try and save themselves. And so, obviously that just signifies it's an intense process when we're breaking down these structures. I said this on another, I want to say it was Taurus's video, but when we're breaking down these structures, a lot of times, especially if they're internal structures to us, which is what we are seeing a lot of the time when the tower is in the reverse, but it can also be in the upright, just depending on the situation. It's difficult. It's uncomfortable. It's causing us to do things we don't necessarily want to do, but we have to do it. It is inevitable. This change is inevitable. If you knock a tower or a building or a castle or any big structure with like a wrecking ball or something that is going to basically just demolish the structure, the internal structure of this, building, whatever it is. Building, whatever. It is inevitable that building is going to fall. Sure, parts of it might stay up, maybe, who knows, depends on how it gets hit. But if you take out the structure, it is going to fall. Gravity. We cannot escape this here in the material world we call Earth. Gravity is a thing. I don't have anything here that I can just without me. I'll do a card. Gravity. Everything else was a little too fragile to just, drop. Anyways. Yes, so gravity. Where was I going with this? The tower. Sorry, excuse me. God, I lost my train of thought thinking about dropping things. So the tower is going to fall. It's inevitable. We cannot change it. So what we have to do is just surrender to that change. Just accept that it's going to happen. And once we do that, we can move into the star. The star is the card following the tower. The star is about rebirth, faith, rejuvenation, realignment, hope, happiness, joy, optimism. All good, positive things. So these two together are signifying we are ending a cycle of negative and we are going into a cycle of positive. We love this. However, we do also have the 10 of Cups in reverse. So 10 of Cups in the upright is signifying a total fulfillment. We are mentally fulfilled. We are emotionally fulfilled. And not only are we totally fulfilled in all areas of life, but we are fulfilled as a community, as a gathering, as a, could be looked at as a family, or maybe it's signifying a relationship, or, and when I say relationship, I like to make sure to note that I'm not speaking specifically about a male and female traditional romantic relationship. When I say relationship, I mean any kind of relationship. It can be platonic, it can be romantic, it can be a family dynamic, a work friendship. It can be a romantic relationship, but maybe it's, you know, two men or two women or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. There doesn't need to be like a specific construct. Just relationship as a concept is what we're going here, what we are going for here. And I'm being very gestury with my hands. If that's distracting, let me know. But I'm getting into it, and my hands help me talk, so we're just gonna be gestury. But yes, 10 of Cups in the reverse is saying that we are not having that. So we are not having this joyous, fulfilled celebration with other people. So, you know, what's going on here? You know, are we feeling like it's like when you have this, if I have XYZ, then I'll be happy. You know, we see this a lot in the fitness world. If I lose 10 pounds, then I'll be happy. If I, you know, lose whatever, if I look like this, if I can fit into this piece of clothing, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be, you know, I'll accept myself. And a lot of the times, more often than not, what happens is people do that. They lose the 10 pounds, they fit into the dress, they accomplish whatever it is at that goal that they were initially striving for. And they get there and they're like, well, I mean, I did it, but I don't feel happy. I'm not fulfilled. Something is still missing, and that's what this card is saying. Something is still missing. So I think in conjunction, if we're looking at this as kind of maybe one overarching theme, because these two are definitely related to one another. If we're looking as an overarching theme, I think what this is saying to us is that we are turning the tides on whatever the situation is. We are going from a more negative to a more positive, hopeful, optimistic, joyous, you know, existence, realm of life, whether that be, you know, relationship wise, or it could be in your job, or just maybe just life in general. Maybe you're just having a hard time in life as it is. And on that note, let's take a look at this oracle card, which says the dolphin color, pure, joyful friendships, loving help. Well, pretty sure we just talked about that. Joyful friendships, happiness. Also, if you're going through a hard time, you know, don't be afraid to reach out to people. That's also what this 10 of Cups is, you know, kind of talking about. You know, if you're feeling unfulfilled, if you're having a hard time, if you are struggling emotionally, remember there is a community out there. And your community may be one person, your community may be a whole, you know, group or a workplace or, you know, a small group of friends or your spouse or whomever it is. Find your community and don't be afraid to reach out to them and let them, you know, help you in whatever it is that's troubling you. So that's what that card is talking about. Also, this 10 of Cups. So just a really strong message here of, you know, don't be afraid to reach out for others. And also, whatever it is that you're going through, it is going to be turning forwardly better starting this month. So look forward to that. Okay, let's move down to the row of unexpected obstacles. Unexpected, just like every time I go to say it, just out of my brain immediately. I just had a funny thought about that, but this is not the time or the place. Anyways, I do not have enough room on it. I hope you can see all these cards. This is what we got. We have got 7 of Cups. Oh, wow. This is a really cool looking card. I don't know if I've ever looked at this one. Okay, cool. 7 of Cups. And then we have the 6 of Wands. Hopefully you can see it. If I do that way, I don't know if you can see this one. This one's super cool. And then we got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Not sure if you can see that. Hopefully you can. We will talk about the solutions after we discuss the challenges. So let's talk about those. Let's start with this 6 of Wands. So 6 of Wands is a man. He's riding on a horse. He's coming back. He has this like laurel wreath on his wand that he's holding. And I got distracted by his checkerboard pattern on his clothing. He is getting public recognition for something being done successfully. He has accomplished whatever he has set out to accomplish. He is coming back. The crowds are cheering for him, and he is feeling really good about himself, very confident. You know, he has a lot of pride in himself, like, I did a good job, as these people are, like, adoring him. So this coming up as a possible difficulty, obstacle, I think what this is alluding to is saying that don't let ego or pride cloud your judgment or way of thinking. So when I say ego, I mean this in two ways, but it's kind of the same way. I mean traditional ego, like I'm too good for XYZ. You know, if we're getting all this praise, sometimes we can let that go to our head and we start acting differently, especially in this, my bad camera or microphone, especially in this day of social media and how everything is just not only very easily accessible, but it's very easily put out into the world. Like, I started this YouTube channel and I just am filming videos on an iPhone and I'm just uploading them to YouTube, and they're just there for people to hopefully discover. And it's just so easy and accessible to most people. Not everyone, but most people. And because of that, we also have a lot more access to this praise. You know, if we're doing something and we view it, what is a common way we view praise from social media? Likes, comments, shares, people who subscribers. You know, this is, it can go to your head. I've seen this like in real time, in live action. It can go to your head and it can change how you're acting. Now that kind of alludes me to the other type of ego I'm talking about, and that's that voice in your head that wants to be in control and wants to talk over your intuition, that higher guidance that's trying to steer you on the correct path. Sometimes when we're trying to listen to that, or if we're having conflicting things in our mind, it's because our intuition is telling us to do one thing while our ego, ourself, is telling us to do another thing, and then we get confused because the voices sound really, really similar and we can't discern them. So this is just warning you to be wary and cognizant of that. So let's go over to this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. This is saying that she is maybe not taking care of herself. The Queen of Pentacles reminds me a lot of the Empress. I feel like she is like the minor arcana version of the Empress. So, you know, kind of an older, mature woman, very nurturing. She's very grounded. If you look at her artwork, she is sitting on a throne that's under a tree, and she's like in the forest. So she's very grounded, typically in the upright. So in the reverse, we're looking at maybe not taking care of ourselves. Maybe we're not nurturing ourselves. Maybe we're doing too much for other people and giving out too much of our energy or our time, which is going to be signified by these pentacles. Pentacles typically are talking about something that is material, but I view them not only as material, like financial things or maybe time or effort, but also I view it as emotion. So a lot of the times, pentacles to me can be interchanged with emotion, which would typically be a cup card or a chalice. But I view both, because when you're giving your emotion to something, that's still an investment. And when I think investment, I think, you know, money and return, and is it worth it, and pros and cons, and the balance of it all. So it's material, but I would also say it could be emotional. So make sure that you are, you know, giving to yourself as well, and not just continually giving to others. It could also be a lack of self-confidence. And especially if we're looking at these two together, this Six of Wands in the upright and this Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, this is kind of telling me like maybe I'm a little self-conscious. Maybe I am not very sure of myself, or I'm a little unsure of what I'm doing or how I'm going forward from here. And so I don't want anyone to know that I'm insecure or I'm unsure. So I'm going to be extra prideful. I'm going to be extra just look at me. I did such a great job. I know in me saying this, someone or something, a situation is coming to mind where you're like, yes, I know one of those, or I've experienced that, or I saw that in action. Like something is coming to mind. You know what that is. We've all met people like this in our lives. It could be a person. Maybe you have someone coming into your life that is, I almost kind of feel like it could be specifically talking about a person, because the interesting thing about yours was that the Six of Wands normally is a card that is face down, but when I chose it, when I fill out the deck, when it chose itself, however you want to say the semantics of it, it was face up, and there was like no way for me to not see it, because I try not to look at these cards until we're in the read, because they're unexpected obstacles. I want them to be unexpected, but this one was face up. So that tells me also that if this is a person, which I do now believe it is, that it is someone that you already know. This is someone already in your life that maybe comes across as, I don't think this is necessarily you. I think this is a person, and it's someone that maybe comes across very boastful. They feel like they are better than everyone else. Actually, let me reword that. That's not how I mean that. Let me rephrase. They have actions that could be perceived by others as if they believe they themselves are better than other people. But what this is just a deep insecurity that they are struggling with. And now they are projecting onto others, and they feel like they have this sense of ego. And that's how it's coming across, okay? So I do believe this is a person. I believe you already know this person. They're already in your life. And that they just might be doing something that's just making your life kind of difficult. I feel like they're pretty harmless. It's just that they are doing something that is just like nagging and annoying. And it's one of those things that like just chips away until you just snap, like the cherry on top, or whatever you want to call it, where it's just like it's too much. So let's go over to this Seven of Cups. I can't believe I've never looked at this card. It's really beautiful. It is a bunch of cups, and this is a person. I thought it was a mushroom. This person looks like a mushroom. That's very interesting. It's a deity. But he's just so focused on this cup of treasure, and just kind of like reading this as a unexpected challenge. To me, this is saying like misguided focus, okay? So you're probably not going to be able to tell, but maybe you can. At the very top, right here, I initially mistook it for a mushroom, but it is, I actually feel like this is temperance. This is not the greatest pictorial depiction of temperance, but the card, I have one that depicts it better. Well, sort of. This is like the advertisement card, but this is what the temperance card looks like in this deck. And this looks very similar. Now, there's no wings here, but I just am getting the feeling of temperance from this card. So, misguided focus, temperance, which is patience, balance, harmony, just being in alignment, serene, calmness. He's staring at this chalice that's full of treasure. So he's kind of focusing on a material thing, and the suit of chalices or cups are related more towards emotions and feelings. So he's not looking at this higher being that we can tell is a higher being because there are sunlights radiating out from them. They are overseeing kind of this whole scene that is going on. And so, yes, to me, this means a lack of focus or misguided focus is more of the term that I would like to use. And maybe that's what this individual is doing. Like I said, they're just doing things that are like wearing you down, like just annoying little things every single day. And it's just chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. And it's causing you to focus on what they're doing. So let's say this is a coworker, okay? I feel like it might be a coworker. But take it how it resonates. It could be, a friend or maybe an acquaintance. Maybe it's not even someone we're necessarily close with. It's just someone we have been exposed to and we are familiar with. But we're going to just bear with me, just follow with me in this kind of context. Let's say it is a coworker, okay? So we have this coworker and they're always nagging us about something. So every day when we're getting ready to go to work, we're like, ugh, I can't believe I'm going to have to see insert coworker's name. And like, they're just going to be up my case again about whatever it is that they're like on you about. And I'm so tired of it. It's so frustrating. I'm just like really getting pushed to my limit. And it's just really stressing me out. Like I can't focus and it's stressing me out. So let's say you're living in that state of being, right? You're really stressed out. You are unable to stay in the moment, the present moment, and instead you are, stressing about the future or the past, and that's what's causing you some anxiety. And now I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, I got it. It was just like gone, but it is back. And now your work is starting to suffer, and your work is suffering because you're stressing out thinking about Becky in HR who's on your case about your email signature, being off, and she's asked you to change it and you haven't changed it, and it's a whole thing. Gosh, Becky in HR, it's just an email signature. But every little day that wears on you, okay? And it's gonna start to take its toll. So misguided focus, make sure we are focusing on the correct things, reevaluate, reprioritize, figure out what is important to you, and make a plan on how to get back to that. So once again, karmic cycles, ending, beginning, ask for help if you need to. And also, just like an extra message that I want to give out about this person, if this is a person that you are encountering and you maybe feel like you need to address them so you can regain your focus into the correct way of things. And this is also kind of indicative of this Three of Hearts down here, Three of Swords, which is talking about kind of moving on from kind of a pained or strained relationship, and could be an acquaintance. Typically, I would be a little more inclined to say it is a closer relationship, but it could be an acquaintance. It also could be relating to this Ten of Cups. So we will roundabout our way back to that. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves right now. So let's get back to here. The message I wanted to give out, if this is a person that you know or is in your life, or you feel like confronting, or you are going to interact with in any way, shape, or form, I want to remind you that what they are demonstrating to you is a projection of insecurity and self-doubt and a lack of confidence. And that means that somewhere inside of them, they are hurting, okay? Gemini, I believe you, and this, is this you? No, you guys are the Chariot, sorry. But this does remind me of Gemini, because Gemini is the two sides, and this is, up and down. So this is very Gemini-ish. But please remember, if you are going through a hard time, that sometimes other people are also going through hard times. And they may keep it more secretive, they might be embarrassed, or they are uncomfortable with sharing those intimate details about their lives for whatever reason. And so you just may not know. And so just approach things cautiously, but also from a place of understanding. And actually, now that I'm looking over here, share wisdom, this oracle card is talking about learning from experiences, and I believe that these three are definitely actually these four. So these are the three I initially picked up. It's this person, this share wisdom card, but I also believe that the Wheel of Fortune is in here because this is circular, and then if you look at this card, there is a full circle around this tree, and it's two circles, two concentric circles. Kind of reminds me of like a really cool looking crescent moon, but it's not really a crescent moon. But either way, it just also reminds me, and then also, now that I say that, a root system with a leafing system, it is kind of inverted or cyclical? Yes, cyclical. As above, so below, in quite a literal sense. And these concentric circles are also light and dark, which are opposing opposites. So, all of that to say, if you're going through a hard time, you understand that sometimes we are reactionary, and a lot of the times we just need someone to come to us in a place of understanding and acceptance and no judgment. So if you're going to interact with this person, I just ask that you take that sense with you. And once again, ties perfectly into this temperance card. I keep forgetting this card is here. I keep explaining this card. That is a how to overcome this. Perfect. Come at them with patience, understanding, nurturing, hope, and a lack of judgment. So let's go back to these cards on how we're going to overcome. And I have one to flip over. This one stayed flipped down. Usually I look at them. So we're flipping that over. And we have got the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is new beginnings, enthusiasm, typically having to do something in the material world. Could be a business, could be something financial, could be just manifesting your dreams or goals. Maybe you want like a certain career, or it could even be bettering your health. All kinds of things that Ace of Pentacles is referring to. So, once again, this is just Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles. This is the beginning of a cycle. This is moving into more positive domain because it is in the upright. We could be planting the seeds for later financial wealth and stability and abundance and prosperity. So that's great news. I think this is more of just a reassurance that things are moving in the right direction for you, and not necessarily like an action that you can take, but just like a belief that you can hold, like this is getting better. And now we have the Six of Cups. Excuse me, sorry. Let me just take a drink of tea real fast. How cute is this mug? I love it. Anyways, moving back on. Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is talking about kind of staying in the past. Could be talking about an old, maybe an old relationship or an old connection. It can be alluding to maybe like childhood as well. But really, to me, what Six of Cups says is just don't, be present in the moment and don't let yourself be trapped in the past or an old way of thinking. And I think once again that really ties along in with this potential obstacles and this Wheel of Fortune card. Don't allow yourself to stay in this negative place by choice. And when you're stuck in the past, when you keep reliving this situation or this cycle, maybe it's a past cycle that we keep reliving over and over and over and over. And it's time to stop the cycle, to acknowledge that we're living in this repetitive cycle, and this repetitive cycle is leaving us unfulfilled. So in order to, be more filled, we need to break the cycle, which is Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So, I think once again, Cups is talking about emotion, feeling, sensing, intuition. This to me is just an acceptance that it is okay to move on. That message resonates very heavily for me today specifically. So I feel like in me giving you that message, I also was giving myself that message. It's okay to decide to move on. And then once you do that, you're opening yourself up to all these amazing opportunities. Okay? The star. Wheel of Fortune. It's called Wheel of Fortune for crying out loud. Like, let's go. And we got the Ace of Pentacles. Like, let's go, Ace of Pentacles. Let's get ourselves secure and ready for the future. We are long-term planning. Love to see it. Like I said, come at things with grace, patience, understanding, nurturing. Once again, new relationship too. You guys are, if you're trying to nurture a relationship, or if you're leaving a relationship, if you are just understanding that some connection is not for you for whatever reason, you can bow out gracefully, okay? I think too often when emotions are heightened, we are very reactionary. Double reverse, breaking old habits, internal chains of structure and belief. Maybe we're reacting in this way where we're letting our emotions get the best of us. And in doing so, because we are stuck in the past and we are reliving this cycle that is leaving us unfulfilled and hurting. We need to remember that everyone has emotions and feelings, and we can be considerate of others even when we're hurting, okay? Now, I understand not everyone takes that approach on life. Take whatever resonates with you and your attitude and your personality, but I myself feel like I can always at least try to see things from a different perspective other than my own in order to better understand a situation and hopefully manage it a little bit better emotionally. I am a Scorpio, water sign baby. Scorpio. I be emotional, okay? I got deep emotions, extremely deep. So I get it when your emotions are kind of like, ugh. But, once again, singularly towards you, ego could be looked at as our emotions getting the better of us. Absolutely it could. That's what ego is when we're living, when we become the emotion. When it's saying, I am sad, instead of, I feel sadness. You see the difference there? Like, really sit and marinate on that and think about how you're speaking to yourself. Self-talk with the devil in reverse. Hello, let's go. Self-talk, man. Impossible things. Working through disbelief. Imaginative leaps, fresh perspective. Fresh perspective. Pretty sure I said that. Also, to me, what this is saying is dare to dream. Shoot for the stars. I love that. Love that. We got the Ace of Pentacles. We also have the Ace of Cups. New feeling, new emotion, more in alignment. Maybe you're on a spiritual journey, okay? Maybe you're going through some spiritual awakening right now, which that's an exciting time in life. And that is definitely a Wheel of Fortune moment, going through a spiritual awakening. And it is definitely moving into a period of time of happiness and joy. And really, if that is you, if you feel like that is what this message is for you, you're going through a spiritual awakening, that is going to address this issue of lack of fulfillment. Because, and I mean, of course it is, because we have a cycle here, guys. Oh, I didn't even notice this earlier. We have a cycle. 10 is the ending of the cups. It is going to start back over at the ace. Once again, we have Wheel of Fortune. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, if you are going through a spiritual moment, this is good news for you. Also, the Devil in reverse could also be signifying that you are letting go of old ways of believing or old belief systems. Maybe you have been practicing a certain religion your whole life, or more than likely you were forced or not asked if you wanted to be a part of a certain religion, and it was just kind of an expectation put on you, a chain that is put on you. And the devil is in reverse, so I like to also read that as like really internal shadow work going on here. So, spiritual awakening. Now you're choosing for yourself. You're going into a new cycle of joy and happiness and fulfillment. We're leaving behind old past hurts. They are in the past. Karma. Beginning and end of cups. Emotion. Okay? Temperance. Keep that in mind. Patience. Consideration for others. One of my favorite quotes is, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. And I just feel like it's something people need to hear more often, and stop and take a moment to reflect on and think about, if the trueness of these words, and really kind of the depth and what they really truly mean. So just some parting words of wisdom and something to reflect on. Thank you, Gemini. Your guys' spread was super fun. I hope you are feeling hopeful and rejuvenated with this positive news coming your way in February. I will see you guys again in March for your March tarot forecast, and have a wonderful day. See, Sarah, why do I be doubting myself when that shit was fire? Fire, Starlight.